everyone, Jen here. I thought I would make a little video here on how I've been using my digital planner to plan out my garden. So I got really into gardening about 2 years ago. As some of you guys know, I've got a autoimmune disease, so I have to eat like all organic. And if you ever purchase organic fruit and vegetables and stuff, they're pretty expensive. So I started doing gardening. Didn't do that well the first year. Last year, I actually did pretty well. I was very impressed with my setup and everything. So this year, I want to be able to produce even more. And I do have kind of a small little garden area, only because my chickens get to free range, and I learned the hard way. It's extremely hard to keep them out of your garden. So I'll put up a picture of what we did. We just actually fenced up around a little area. So that's been pretty good about keeping them out. And so because it's kind of a small area, this year I want to do a lot of succession planting. And I also put in a grow light system in the basement. I'll do another video on that one. And so I really want to make sure that I have everything planned out and I start everything indoors when I need to, and then it gets put outside when it needs to maximize my growing season. Because I'm in Chicago, so we don't have that long of a growing season because of, when we get frost and stuff. So I thought I would go in and show you how I do it. And one of the things I've been using is kind of like a digital planner, but you can totally do this with a pen and paper very easily. I used to do this in one of the Erin Condren's little books. I used to take the time to draw it out, but now I've been using the digital planner and it's just so much easier. So I kind of thought I would walk you through what I have been doing. And so I usually do this on the iPad, but I found out that Goodnotes also can go onto the computer. So I'll kind of walk through, hopefully I can do this without too much trouble on the computer versus the iPad. But it's pretty simple, the thing I use. And again, you can totally use this on paper. You don't have to do this digitally, but I'm just one of those digital people, so I kind of do it. So here we are. This is the notebook. I think what I'll do is I'll quickly go through what I did, and then I will show you how I did it. So here's just page 1, my pretty little cover. And then what I did is I'm going to be starting a lot of stuff indoors. So I have just this first page here as just showing myself what I need to start and when I need to start it. So I kind of just broke it off in early February, but like mid-February or late. So you can see here I've got onions. They're going to start mid, and I'm start late March. I'm going to do tomatoes, broccoli, and cabbage. So I just kind of listed those out, and I haven't done my flowers yet. So that's also something new I'm going to do this year, is I'm going to do flowers. So I still have to do that one. But then you can see I started with April with some of the vegetables that you can actually stick out before the first frost. So here in my zone, my first frost is usually like around May 14th to the 21st, I think is what it said. So this here is what I'm going to start planting actually in the garden. So I made this little grid, and I think I could probably give this to you guys. I'll take out the black boxes are my little raised garden. But I'll try and do like a PDF if you guys want this. If you want it, let me know. I'll make a PDF. And so you can just have like the to-do section and the little grid so you can draw yours out. So I have my little raised gardens. These are my little ones here. And they're kind of funny shaped because I had 3 elevated gardens because I thought for some reason if I did the elevated gardens that it would keep the chickens out, but it didn't. The chickens were able to hop up there and they just ate away. So what I did is I basically cut the legs off of all of them, and I removed the slats and I lowered them down to the ground. So these 3 big ones are just it's a 2x4 raised garden. And then I made these little square ones out of the little slats that were underneath them to make them raised. So I just took them and we just made more boxes out of them. And then this year, I didn't have this last year, but this year I'm going to make a cattle panel trellis that's going to go over the 2 smaller boxes. So that's where I want to grow my watermelon and my cucumbers, over that trellis. So exciting, because now I have this kind of a small area. So I want to try and grow up as much as I can. And I think that trellis is really gonna help me give me a little bit extra space, and hopefully I can get a little bit more production out of mine. So you can kind of see over in this section here, I'm what I have to actually plant, which means for me, it just means direct sow. So what I'm gonna actually put directly into the soil. And then I have my little thing here starting indoors. I got my cucumbers, my peppers, my basil, and my Brussels sprouts. So then on the next month, so this one is May, you can see here now, this is May is when our last frost usually comes. So I've got, these are all the things that I'm going to be actually planting in there. Some of them are stuff that I started indoors, but some of them I'm going to actually directly plant, which you can see in this little corner here. I've got my carrots, which I'm going to directly plant into the soil. So this is kind of how I just have everything spaced out and planned out. And you can see I did it same thing with July. And then I did the same thing, this is June. So this is June. And then with July. So I just wrote underneath here, wherever the vegetable was, I wrote here harvest. So those carrots should be done by mid-June. And the same with my broccoli, hopefully if things go right. And the same with my cabbage. So this is where the succession starts coming in, that now I'm going to start moving things around. So in July, I took out my cabbage and my carrots because those don't usually like to grow, same with the broccoli, in hot weather. And here in Chicago land, it can get really hot in July and August. So I have to figure out what else to plant there. I don't know yet. I got to research and figure out what is really, really good in the heat. If you got ideas, let me know. I know watermelon is, but I have that growing in the trellis. Plus, I don't want to put that in the beds because I did that last year and my watermelon took over everything. I don't know. For some reason, I thought the cucumber was going to stay in this nice trellis, and I planted the watermelon underneath it, and it just became this huge, massive vine mess. So this year, we're not doing that. And then August, you can see August, I'm going to plant some more seeds for the carrots so that I should have another crop of them before the frost hits. And then same with the onions. I'm going to plant another set of onions. So I think those should be okay to plant in July when the first ones are up. But we'll see. We'll see how that goes. And then you can see September, a few more things are missing. So I might put in some more lettuce or something that I know in the cooler crops that will work. Again, still working on it. So we're going to see how this goes. But then here's October. October is pretty much when we start getting frosts here. So I'm going to probably plant another row of lettuce and stuff in September. And we'll see. Sometimes I might buy one of those little dome things to see if I can extend the season just a little bit longer. But we'll have to see. And then I just have this miscellaneous page here because what I'm going to do, I really want strawberries this year. So I'm going to make some hanging baskets. So we have a above ground pool. So I put little notes here. I'm going to put them in hanging baskets. I'm going to hang them around the fencing of the pool. And then I just have my little sticker sheet. So what I'm kind of go through how I kind of figured it out, how what goes what and where. This was just so much easier for me to figure out in my head to be able to do this. So I just did one crop at a time. So I have not done pumpkins. So I'm going to grab my little lasso here, grab my pumpkin, and then copy it. And what I did, because I'm not very versed yet in gardening, I don't know everything by heart. I went over to Johnny's Seeds, and I plugged in, they have this really cool calculator. I'll put the link to this page below. So they have the seed starting date calculator, which is awesome. This has been a great saver for me. So I would just put in my frost date, which I've been using May 14th. I'm hoping for early frost this year, but who knows. And then I would go down the list and I would find what I'm doing. So right now I'm doing pumpkins. So you can see here, it says number of weeks to start seeds inside before setting them out. And then when to start. So it gives you a range of the 2 dates. And then the time that it's safe to set them outside. So I'm going to pick the pumpkins. So the pumpkins 3 to 4 weeks. So between April and May, I'm gonna start pumpkins inside. So I would go, let's see, what were the dates again? Pumpkins were April 30th to May 7th. So I will go May. We'll do this, May. And then what I did is I would just pasted my little pumpkin, made them smaller. And actually, I'll kind of put them over here because these are all early stuff that I'm going to plant in early May. So I'll just kind of stick them over here and kind of go off to those earlies. So now I know I'm starting them indoors early May. And then I went back to this little chart here and I went back to find out when I should plant them outside. So this one says May 28th, I should plant them outside. So I don't actually have a spot in here that I'm going to use in my garden because the pumpkins, again, took over my kind of garden because they're viney. So I'm going to find somewhere else in the yard to place these. But for now, just so you guys can see what I did, I'll put them in this little space here so that I know I have to plant my pumpkins in late May. So everything on here I know is late May. But if you need to, you can write little notes. Say this needs to be late May, that needs to be early May, whatever. And then what I would do is find out when these need to get picked. Now, pumpkins are a long time growing seed. Off the top of my head, I don't know. Let's see if we can find out how long. I want to say those are like 110 day. We'll just pick this one here. Let's see. I was actually grabbing my pumpkin seeds, like my packets, and then seeing how long they take. Okay, I don't see it. Okay, let me see. I don't know if I have. Let me see. All right, so I've got my bucket of seeds. So I would take the seeds. Let's see if I can find it fast. So here's a pumpkin one. All right. So this one says 105 days. So typically about 3 months, I would say. So if we do end of May, so you've got June, July, August. So as you all know, pretty much end of August, early September is when the pumpkins would be finished. So I'm not really worried about it again because the pumpkins, I'm putting them somewhere else and I probably am not going to succession garden with them. So I probably don't need to put that here. But in this case, like with my carrots and stuff, this is where I would figure out when they were supposed to be done and I would write harvest on them so that if I did want to switch something out, I could. Pumpkins, I don't typically put anything else because they're have a long growing season. So you really can't plant anything after them. But hopefully you guys get the idea. So anyways, this is how I did it. I did it again. This program I'm using is Goodnotes. I use it on the iPad, which is why you see that I've got a lot of writing because I'm still a person that likes to write and draw. So I like having the iPad part like that. I created this little background in InDesign. I'm a graphic designer by trade, so that's why I have this. So I will create like maybe a blank PDF and then you guys can use it. So if you ever want to do it bring in a PDF in Goodnotes and then right on top of it, I'll show you really quick how to do it because it is such a lifesaver. It just makes things so much easier for me because now I can take the same template and then do it again next year and it's already there. So what you just need to do is you go new and you go import and then I just named it garden background. And then now it just creates a new document with the background being the PDF. So if you want to take the PDF from down below and import it into Goodnotes so you can use it, that's exactly how it goes. And this is how they are when they're just blank. So that's how it goes. So that is how I do my garden planning. Love to see how you guys do it. Like I said, I used to do just pen and paper and I used to only just do one planting of everything. So it wasn't so complicated before, but this I really like doing because now I know what I can succession plant hopefully. And I know everything is going to be very flexible because it's weather. You know, you never know what the weather's going to be. But what I also did too is I made a separate sheet for my stickers. So it made it easier to go back and forth between the actual documents and copy and pasting all of the little stickers there. So those are my tips. If you guys like that and want more, go ahead, subscribe below. I hope you do. I hope to see you around. And also below, I have a free meal planning guide going out. So if you guys are having any trouble with some meal plans, check out below because that's also free. And I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye.